Did you know there's a lot of different ways you can build credit without getting a credit card?
Hey, I'm Alex,
And I'm Philip.
and we teach you what you need to know about your personal finances using words you can understand without boring you to death.
Because adulting shouldn't suck. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the comments below. Let us know if you're going to get a credit card or not.
In this video, we're going to talk about 4 different ways you can build credit without credit cards. Back when I was 19, I got my first credit card, and it had like a $1,000 limit, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I racked that thing up and didn't have the money to pay for it. So it took me forever to pay it off, and as soon as I paid it off, guess what I did again? I racked it back up.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yep.
Oh.
Pay it off, put more crap back on it, and then you're just stuck in that endless cycle of trying to pay it off, and once you get paid off, people just put more stuff on it again. So finally, after I decided it was doing more harm than good, I closed it down, and I didn't get another credit card until I was in my late 20s. And by then, I knew I had a little more self-control, and I had a lot more financial knowledge, just a little bit. But I had a lot more financial knowledge, and I actually knew how to use it right this time.
A lot of people think credit cards are bad. And I mean, unfortunately, they're not wrong. If you don't know how to use them, getting a credit card and using them irresponsibly can end you up in a lot of financial trouble. And credit card companies know this. Using a credit card responsibly takes a lot of work and a lot of discipline, which a lot of us don't have, especially when we're starting out. The more debt that we have on credit cards, the more money credit card companies make off of interest.
Yep. We all need credit at some point in our lives. It's pretty much unavoidable that you're going to need it. So I would say on average, most people use a credit card to build up their credit, but you don't have to. You're going to end up needing 6 months of credit history somehow in order to establish a FICO score. And that's going to be used for everything from getting an apartment to a phone to car insurance, all kinds of stuff. You're going to need a FICO score. So this is a great list to start building from.
Start that list off at number 1, a credit builder loan. A lot of banks and credit unions are going to offer this type of loan to people with little to no credit. Sometimes you're going to need a cosigner, but you're going to need to be at least 18 years old, and then, you get this little loan. You make your payments, you pay it off, and boom, credit history.
So think of it like a reverse loan. Typically, with a regular loan, you sign the paperwork, they give you the money up front, and then you make payments on it for years. With a credit builder loan, you don't get the money until the very end. So you're making payments every single month for, I don't know, a year or two, however long you decide you want to make them for. And you're getting credit history based on making your payments consistently. And at the very end of it, then they give you that money. So it's like a reverse loan. Yeah, I guess it kind of sucks when you think about how most loans work because you get the money up front and we're Americans and we want that, tangible item right away.
Give it to me now!
Yeah, give me my money. But you get it at the very end. So that's how this one's going to work. It's a reverse loan.
The only purpose of this loan is to build credit. Think of it like getting your tax refund. You pay taxes all year, and then at the end of that year, you get your tax refund check. So it's cool, and it works out for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to pay money into this, $25 a month up until you reach $1,000 or $1,500, and then the credit union is going to report that to the credit bureaus as a loan payment. So you're going to do that every single month and make it consecutively, and then the balance of the loan is going to go down, but really it's kind of like going up, because you're getting close to that mark, that goal that you set. And then once you make that goal, bam, money. Woo! This is going to be great for people, that want to use it as like a savings account or an emergency type fund. You can use it to, okay, I'm going to start now, and then in 6 months, I'm going to pay all this off, and I'm going to move out. It's going to help you cover like moving expenses, because moving's really expensive. Getting out, paying the first month's rent and utilities and buying the little odds and ends, that stuff adds up quick. So people use it for this sometimes. Just remember, if you don't make the payments, it's going to hurt your credit. And if you're trying to build your credit, you don't want to hurt it before you even have it.
Number 2, authorized user. If you're lucky enough to have somebody in your family, like your mom and dad or your grandparents, who has good credit and they're willing to do it, they can put you as an authorized user on their credit card, which means you have access to a small portion of their limit of their credit card that you can spend. And then as long as they're making payments on time and they keep a low balance or they pay their balance off every month, then it's going to be a good move for you because it's going to build your credit. Now, if they don't pay their balance off or they have a high balance and they don't make their payments on time, just know that this can also hurt you too.
Like you said, this person that makes those payments on that credit card is going to reflect positively on your credit. But if they don't and they start missing payments for whatever reason, you need to get yourself off of that account because it's going to start hurting your credit. And, you're trying to build credit.
Mm-hmm. And if you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I thought this was a video about not having credit cards to build credit. Well, you're not getting a credit card.
Yeah.
You're taking advantage of them having a credit card. You don't even have to use it. As long as you're on their credit card as an authorized user and they're using it and paying it off on a regular basis, that's going to help out your credit.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in at number 3, rent payments. Now, typically your landlords aren't going to report you making on-time payments. The only time that rent is going to be reported to the credit bureaus is if you're late and it gets sent to a collection agency, and then the collection agency comes to try to take your money.
So you spend all that money and it doesn't even help your credit.
No.
Well, you can always ask them if they report it, but that takes extra effort on their part, and people are lazy, and more often than not, they're probably going to say no. And if they do, know that you have other options too, right? Because you're spending all this money, you probably want to get some kind of credit history out of it if you can. So there's other companies out there now where you can pay them money and they'll pay the rent for you. Companies like RentTrack that will actually pay the rent for you, and then when you consistently pay them and they pay the rent for you, they report it to the credit bureaus that you paid rent, and then you can start building credit history through them if your landlord's not going to do it for you.
So here's how it works. You're going to sign up, answer a few questions to verify that you're you, and then, bam, you're going to pay RentTrack money, and then RentTrack is either going to mail or direct deposit a check or money to your landlord, right? And it's guaranteed to get there in time for your rent payment. And then, they're going to report that stuff to the credit bureaus. They said that in 2 months, most of their users raised their score by 30 points. And in a year, a lot of their users raised their credit score by 130 points. It's crazy.
That's a lot, especially because you wouldn't have gotten any of that had your landlord not reported anything.
Yeah, which, might be good if you're a land or a tenant. But
true. Yeah, if you suck at making payments, maybe it's a good thing they don't report it.
Yeah, but I guess they do if you don't make it. So
yeah, joke's on you.
Joke's on you.
Number 4, try alternative scoring methods. The traditional scoring methods only go off of your history of making payments on loans and credit cards and stuff that requires you to go into debt. The alternative ones actually give you a credit score based on your history of making payments for things like phone bill and cable and utility bills.
Crazy. There's different methods out there also that use things like your Netflix and your phone bill and silly stuff like that. It's called Experian Boost. It's newer and it uses that information to boost your credit score. Most people are getting, point raises from like 10 to 20 points off of some Experian Boost. So,
all stuff that you're making payments for that normally you wouldn't get credit for. So final thoughts on building credit without a credit card. If you don't feel comfortable getting a credit card, or you don't trust yourself because you're going to do something dumb like I did when I was younger, which is how most people use credit cards, then that's all right. Like we talked about, there's lots of ways to do it without going into debt, because you got to pay your rent anyways if you move out, and utilities. You're probably going to have a phone bill, probably going to have Netflix, right? So you get credit for all those things. You can also become an authorized user if you're lucky enough to have, somebody to let you be on their credit card, or get a credit builder loan, right? So those are 4 really good ways to do it without going into debt.
Just remember, if you think you want to buy a house in the future, you're probably going to need a credit card when you go apply for that loan. Unless you're buying it with like straight cash, which if you can, high five, guess you're not going to need a credit card.
Yeah.
But my buddy got denied for a home loan because he didn't have a credit card, but he had good credit. So, you got to have those different types of loans and different types of credit, to get, qualified for a home loan. If you want to find out more about credit, check out our credit playlist. Link's going to be in the description. If you think you might want to get a credit card, we have this awesome Build Your Credit on Autopilot system that helps you build your credit responsibly without getting you in debt. The link's going to be in the description below, and you can download it, check it out. But back on the credit card thing, just make your payments and make them on time. That's all you got to do.
On time.
Yeah. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Actually subscribe. Don't just like watch it and then go to the next video, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
And in the comments below, let us know if you like this video or not.
And share it with your friends, because I'm sure they all could benefit from it too.
Yeah.